Hey, Alexis Love Beauties and Flawless Man. Let's read our daily bread. We will be reading from Proverbs chapter 13, verses 24. He that spareth his rod hateth his son, but he that loveth him chasteneth him betimes. My son doesn't like doing homework. It's hard for him. He struggles with academics and he would rather be playing basketball, a sport at which he excels. God, I don't like conflict, and we can butt heads when I insist he complete his work before play. I have lost my temper more than one occasion, frustrated because he needs to do the work, yet he doesn't want to do the work. Frustrated because I don't like to fight with him. Sometimes I am tired and tempered to just let go, though I know this would do him no favors. Dear God, help me to step up to the plate and to be the adult I need to be. Please give me the strength to discipline my children when necessary and help me to do so with love. Alexis Love Beauties and Flawless Man, that is a very powerful daily bread. In Proverbs chapter 13, verses 24, the Lord is saying that a parent, come on, Jesus, that does not teach their child, they do not train their child, they spare their child any type of discipline, any type of obedience, simply because they have whatever type of fear that they have towards the child. They don't want to not be liked by the child. That is a parent that hate their child. The Lord also tells us earlier in Proverbs that love corrects. So just like the Lord corrects us, he expects us to correct our children because we love them. But he said in Proverbs chapter 13, verses 24, if we do not correct them, then that is a parent that hates their child. But he that chastises him, he loves him. So this person is saying that they struggle with times with their child because at sometimes, the child would rather play game versus doing the homework, but they know that the homework needs to be done because that's helping their education, that's helping them to grow. But instead of this parent, doing what they need to do as a parent, giving them the guidelines and helping them to be obedient, they would just rather not argue with the kid. They don't want to go back and forth. So they let the kid do whatever it is that they need to do. And this parent is asking like, dear God, can you help me and show me and guide me and lead me in a loving way how to train my child in the way that they should go? Alexis Love Beauties and Flawless Man, that is exactly what we're supposed to do as parents. Whether we have children right now, whether we're preparing for children, whether we want children in the future, it is imperative that we train up our child in the way that they should go. We shouldn't be arguing with children. They shouldn't be disrespectful, but a child only does what you allow them to do. A child is only going to say what you allow them to say. There is a righteous way how to correct and put a child in their place with wisdom. It is very easy to do that when they're young. But if you're pregnant and you're doing drugs or you're in toxic environments or you fighting with the baby daddy or you're a single mother and all of the stress that you have when you're pregnant, the child is getting that firsthand before they even come out here into the world. So now when you have that child and they only 2 years old and they being disrespectful, they cussing you out, you have to go back and think about when you were pregnant, all of the toxic, the baby wasn't in peace. The baby didn't live in a peaceful environment. The baby was getting shaken up because you was fighting with the dude or you was doing this or doing that. The baby was high, you was high. We have to go back to that and understand that our children, some children, they have this disobedience. Some children even hate their parents for the lives that they lived and the way that they was growing up. And some parents be like, well, I don't know how this happened and I did the best I can do. There is other things that we have to do besides just being a parent. I know no parent don't want to hear that, like, well, you ain't about to tell me that I have put a roof over my kid's head. Listen, it goes more into being a parent. The Lord is not telling us like, well, I'm just, they waking up every day, so that's good enough. The Lord breaks us down. The Lord wants to hear our emotion. He, has an open door policy for us to talk to him, cast our cares upon him. He's our provider. He's our teacher. He's our lover. He's our security guard. Like the Lord is everything that he is. He wants us to be that in a parent form. So when we don't have that knowledge to do that, this is why we have the Bible. Me not being a parent at this time, but I've known this for years. I've always known this. And this is how I'm going to teach my children. Just like I tell anyone else. So, I try to be more calm and gentle when I have conversations about a parent and a child because I don't have that experience. But the wisdom that I do have, I'm still going to share that. Now, only a wise person is going to receive that and be like, oh, okay. Somebody that's going to be like, well, you ain't got no kids, so how can you tell me to raise mine? We have to just wisdom comes from different places. Come on, Jesus. You remember like in Job when all three of the grown friends was sitting there and nobody helped them, nobody prayed for him. And then a young man, come on, Jesus, a young man from a whole nother region, he came and said, listen, it's a shame that all three of y'all are grown. Y'all didn't help your friend. Y'all didn't pray for him. Y'all didn't give him no cattle, no nothing. And y'all all sit here and cry. He said, now, if y'all don't mind me being a young man, if I could, speak my piece, because the Lord has given me a word. Sometimes we can't be looking at people like, oh, Shannon ain't got no kids. The Lord gives a word to who he can give the word to. He told Jeremiah, go and tell the whole nation of people that they whores, and this is why I'm upset. And Jeremiah said, well, I'm just a child. And the Lord said, well, don't say you just a child, because I knew you before you were formed in your mother's womb. So we have to stop. It might be a little harder trying to listen to somebody that don't have that experience, but we have to stop judging each other, because the Lord is going to give us the wisdom. If he feel like that person can carry that wisdom, then he's going to give that to them, whether they have that experience or not. Me not having experience with children personally, but I have experience with children. I'm going to tell somebody what I feel like is right, or how I feel like they can help, or some of the information that I have about training a child in the way they should go. First, I'm going to tell you to go to Genesis and learn. Teach a child where this even came from. You don't want them thinking that science is where they came from, you where they came from. Then when they start questioning like, okay, mom, I came from you, but where did you come from? Oh, you came from your grandparents. Okay, well, where did they come from? You want to let them know exactly where they came from. You live in this world, but you are not of this world. Yes, we're looking at each other, but this will not always be forever. We have another spiritual home. We are more than a human. We are a spirit. I'm going to tell you to train up the child they need to go in Genesis. Then I'm going to tell you to keep on going down to Exodus. Teach the child that they are free. Let them know their history. Then I'm going to tell you to go over to Leviticus. Let the child know. And these are books that's going to tell you, that's going to train the child and let them know the different things they're going through, versus a parent saying, well, you can't be out there having sex. You better not be out there being a fast ass little girl. Excuse me. But we've heard that. I've heard that. And it's like, how you a fast little girl because your chest is growing? Because that's the way that the Lord designed you to be. How are now that you bad, or you fast, or you disrespectful, or parents be calling children a whore because you are growing up and you're coming out and your hormones are changing. This is where we have to stop and teach the children. This is where the Lord was upset in Jeremiah. He said, because y'all are not teaching the children, how to be men and women of God. Y'all teaching them how to be whores. Y'all are not giving them the information that they need, and y'all not even coming back and asking God for the information. That is why the Lord is upset that his men and women are whores, because nobody is asking him for the information that he has already given us. Teach the child from Leviticus that when you bleed, you're going to bleed. That's going to happen for a woman, and that's just for a woman. Come on now, we see what's going on out here. A woman is going to have a menstrual cycle, and let them know that at a point in time in your life you're going to want to have children, because the Lord created you to be fruitful and multiply. Don't tell them, well, if you have sex then we're going to have problems. Let them know that you're changing. You're going to want to do that thing because it's natural. Go in Leviticus and teach them the foods that they're supposed to eat, the way that they're supposed to live, the way that they're supposed to dress, how long they're supposed to bleed on a period, how long they're supposed to bleed after childbirth, different things like that. Teach them about patience and Abraham and Sarah, and teach them about the different relationships that we learned about from the Bible, and let them know that there's some things that you're going to have to wait for. Teach them about, the threesome relationships, the polyamorous relationships that everybody is on. We'll come back on a later day and talk about that as well. We have some wisdom on that. Right now, at the top of my head, I can't think about what book that was from. Come on, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. So it was from the book of Daniel. I believe his father had 2 wives, and teach them from the book of Daniel that one of them wives, because she was a secondary wife, that's why she couldn't have no son. If it wasn't for her saying that she was going to give her child to the Lord, she would have never had no child. That's why she didn't get no inheritance. So, we have to teach the child, train the child. Then you want to go back and you want to teach them. And Habakkuk, let them know that you're going to see different things. People is going to live different ways. People is going to look different. Don't talk about nobody. Don't judge nobody or anything. And let them know whatever you want to do, whatever you want to be, you can be that. Write it down and make it plain. I'm going to teach you how to do that. I'm going to show you how to do that successfully. You can be healthy. Teach them these things. Go through the Bible and train up a child in the way they should go. Let them know that I don't want you to just eat this stuff because it's something that I have a desire for, but it's what the Lord has said is good for me. meat. The Lord said that the herbs is good for meat. The Lord always talks about an olive tree, an almond tree, figs. The Lord always talks about fruits and peanuts and nuts and seeds. Show them that what the Lord said about you eating a lot of meat and the different sickness and famine and different things like that. Bleed the blood of Jesus over the children. Show them. Now we're going to come back and we're going to talk about this as well, because it's a way how you have to teach people, especially somebody that's young. You throwing a kid in a church and them listening to other people and just going to Bible study is not it. That's not it. This have to be more of an intimate and personal relationship. You really do have to sit down and explain this. Children understand better from their parents. If you're not giving that to them, nobody else can give that to them. When they grow up, they're trying to find and looking for love in all the wrong places, and that's how we get caught in a strong delusion. You are the first point of contact with this child. Not just because they're cute and, you know what I'm saying, they're in the hospital and you taking care of them, and then when they get 3, you calling them chisin, you calling them bad, you calling them train up a child in the way they should go. And we have the resources. I'm going to say that because I know it. I've always seen that. I've always felt this since I can remember of reading. The resources is in the Bible. Parents will say, well, it's not no book on how to be a parent. There is a book on how to be a parent. Again, I don't mean to sound, inconsiderate, anything like that, but there is a book. There is some resources that we have available that can teach us how to train a child in the way they should go. And also, there's wisdom for us as well on how we can be better. Now, us being grown, it takes a longer time for us to come out of the strong delusion because we've been accustomed to it. So it's easier to groom a child. It's harder to groom a 40-year-old man, telling him he should wash his hands, telling why he should brush his teeth, versus a man that already was groomed like that. So he coming to you, his hygiene is already correct, versus a man coming to you and you trying to teach him like, okay, babe, let me brush your teeth. No, these things come from us being a child, not learning or not having the resources. Even if we didn't have the resource, I know how it might have been harder back in the day. We have a lot more resources in our time. I'm not saying that we don't, but we've always had the word of God. Back in the day, BC, we've always had the word of God, and that's all that we ever needed. And they knew that, and this is why they took that information out of the schools. So now it's on you. We see what's going on with the schools. After the lockdown, them kids went back to school. Now they're trying to turn everybody out. They're trying to turn all the kids gay. Listen, I said what I said. We see what's going on. So we have to do what we have to do. I get it. Everybody probably can't homeschool right now. Still just make sure that you are in your child's life first. Make sure that you let them know that you are here, that you are available. When we do not do that as parents, this is why the child is going out here and they're doing all these different things. They're sacrificing their lives. It's to the point that some children is even sacrificing a parent's life. This is where the hate is coming from. Because, a parent can't tell a child, well, you can't say that you don't love me or what that I didn't do wrong. Listen, as many children as you have, even though they lived in the same house, everybody has had a different experience. Y'all got the same parents. We ate the same meal. Everybody has had a different experience. Every human needs a different set of love, requires a certain amount of attention and all types of things. If it's to the point now where your children is grown and they don't have that, and it's still not too late. If you are someone that you still have children that's still alive, you still have parents that are still alive, it is not too late. And then sometimes parents have this pride thing to where they be like, well, I'm the parent, so y'all supposed to be talking to me. I'm the parent, so you supposed to tell me happy birthday. You supposed to tell me happy Mother's Day. Again, you're the parent. So now your children being grown, they're trying to prepare themselves for their family, for their lives. Nobody asks nobody to say, well, ooh, pick me to be the seed that's going to flourish and come out of you, and then I'm going to be on the world. It was by divine law that we've got here, and it's your responsibility to take care of us until what they say legally 18. We can do that. They can be on their own legally when they're 18, as long as we give them the tools. It ain't just putting no kid out on the street and then you wondering why he a drug dealer. It ain't just putting no kid out on the street and then you wondering why she a prostitute. It's you training them up the best way you can with the information that you have. And I'm not saying that we don't, but training them up the best way that we can so they can get out there safely, not on no wild stuff. We looking at the kids and I can't stand when the generation say this, oh my God, we didn't used to be like that. We learned from all of the elders that's sitting around. The Lord tells us all the time to go to the elders, but he already told us in Jeremiah that some of them is off too. So it's like, okay, the elders are sitting around and they're talking about the children and they're talking about the generations and how it used to be back in the day. And I get it, they're a little bit more disrespectful and I can't really get to them like that, but it's coming from y'all. Like, it's coming from y'all. And a lot of parents and a lot of elders are kind of like set in their ways, and they like, well, this is how we used to do it back in the day. This is not back in the day. We have to get with the times now. Everything is changing up. So Alexis Love Beauties and Flawless Men. I had said what I had said in this podcast. This is on period. Y'all know I'm going to say what it is every single time, because I be agreeing with God. If you hold back some information that you know that could potentially help somebody, and especially your child, then why would you hold that information from them? And again, you still have to use that with wisdom, because sometimes the Lord wants that child to go through something so he can build them, so he can create them to go on for the purpose that he have for them. But some stuff is just wild that parents to do or say and break the child down in that process, and that's not the way it's supposed to go. Like this parent said, I don't want to argue with this kid. I don't want to fuss and fight with this kid. I don't want to, be disrespecting this kid. But there is a way how you can discipline them and you can show them what to do. So this parent said, dear God, help me to step up to the plate so I can know how to take care of this child with love. It's a love thing. That whole tucking the kid at night thing is not just some TV stuff. That's what the kid needed. And then we wondering why. I was running away. I ain't gonna lie, I was sneaking out the crib, man. It was the funnest days of my life. Sneaking out the window. I'm like, ask her mama, gone, period. Like, I'm calling my friends, like, girl, come over, spend the night. We about to sneak out the house, Later on, learning that the things that kids do is a way out of attention. We be seeking attention. I'm still trying to learn what attention I needed, but just reviewing my life, I could see it was a lot going on, but clearly something was missing that I still don't really know, but it made me act out in a different way. And we don't have to do all of that to get to the attention of God, because he's always been there. So just begin. If you're a parent right now, if you want to be a parent, you're, in the process of being a parent, I'm going to always tell you to start from the King James Holy Virgin Bible. Start there. Do your extended research so you can pass that information down and teach that child. And also, some TV shows I like to watch that gives a lot of wisdom is, I like to watch Karamo Show. I used to watch, what's that show with, what's that lady name? Ayan Levan's Fix My Life. Used to watch that. And in passing, like if I'm just scrolling the internet, if I see something wise, then I'll, watch. Because the way that people is out here doing relationships, the way that people is taking care of stuff, the cheating, the stealing, the deceiving, all this stuff come from the household. They seen it happen with you first. So train up a child in the way they should go. I get it, the trauma that we had, that we didn't have, the relationships that we didn't have with our parents, but it's not fair for somebody else to suffer. Like, I'm not about to sit up here and be like, well, I had to go through this as a kid, or I was struggling with this or whatever. So when I had some kids, that anger that we be having, it be passed on to the kid. So all of that hate, all of that anger that you didn't get, that love that you didn't get, the poor and the struggle environment that you grew up in, you pass it down to the kid, and that's how the generational curse continues. Somebody got to stop and be like, bro, this is not cool. Even though I ain't got no kids right now, I do got a niece. So when I'm with her, I need to be more gentle with her. I need to love her. I need to train her and spend time with her. Even though it's not my child, I still need to install some wisdom within her with the time that I do be having with her. So there is a will and there is a way how to do things safely. As an adult, trying to be taught something, we be stuck in our ways. Like, I'm so glad I'm getting out of that now. Like, I can listen to somebody. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, for the longest I was like, you ain't got to worry about me, I'm good, love, and joy. But then when you realizing that you're not good love because it's still bad going on, you gotta start questioning. You gotta start listening to people. It don't matter how old you are, everybody has some type of wisdom. Even the foolish man know how to, come on, Jesus, the Lord said in Proverbs, even a foolish man, when he hold his peace, he is counted wise. So even a foolish person, even somebody that we looking at as ignorant, somebody that we thinking ain't got no type of wisdom, no type of nothing, we can still learn from them. If you put a loud, foolish man in a room with a righteous man, if that foolish man, he keep his mouth closed, you won't know which one is the fool and which one is the righteous man. So, and that's a strong delusion that's going on out here as well. So even as an adult, it is okay to learn and seek God for wisdom, because the Lord said we can't even make it into the kingdom of God. At least we be transformed back to the likeliness of a child. So even as an adult, we got to sit, and I had to sit back and be like, okay, like, I know I done read this 1,000 times. Let me go back and read it. I done heard this 1,000 times. Let me go back in. Let me go back in. Even as an adult, we have to go back in because we got trauma. We got stuff that we're going on, that we're going through that people don't know about. So we got to check ourselves. We have to check ourselves. It's imperative to check ourselves. So Alexis Love Beauties and Flawless Man, thank y'all for stopping by this Our Daily Bread session, because I be going in about that, like the whole kid thing, because it used to be crazy. Like, it's be so crazy because it be like, yeah, like this, you know, it's still things that you can do. Like I said, you got kids now. You reach out to your kid. Like, you don't always have. It's just the way how you supposed to just talk to children. It's the way how you supposed to train children too. You can't force God on kids, and that's what be happening. And that's why later on in life they don't like God no more, because it's the way how we be delivering God to them. Like I said, we're gonna come back and get deeper into that. But the number one thing you can't do is force God on people. That makes them hate you. That makes them hate God. Because it's like, I already got so much pressure on me, and now you telling me I got to pray too? I don't even feel like talking. It's a way, it's a natural, loving, and calming way that we have to invite people into God. That way that they don't feel pressure. People already got a lot going on. So it's just the delivery. It's just the way that how it's, being talked about. And that is just it. I love y'all. God bless y'all. I encourage you to do your extended research. Go and read Proverbs chapter 13, verses 24. And on your free time, just begin to try to, ask the Lord to help you and guide you to read the whole Proverbs, because Proverbs is another book that teaches a child. And there's men and women in there talking about teaching a child. Those are some really great books to read from: Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Proverbs, Daniel, Revelation, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, Habakkuk. And for now, those are the books that I have the most wisdom about, that's teaching, directly a child. Like, God is directly talking to, letting you know some different things, giving you the tools that you need. I love y'all. God bless you.